Hi guys, it's Morgan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3 of season 1 of Daredevil, Born Again. Now, if you haven't seen the episodes, there will be spoilers in this review, so stop watching if you don't want to be spoiled. So, here's my review of episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3 of season 1 of Daredevil, Born Again. Now, I haven't seen the original Daredevil show, but I can imagine that it made the people who had very happy to see these characters being played by the same actors again. And even though I haven't seen the original show, right when the episode started, I immediately loved Matt's relationship with his friends Karen and Foggy. So who knows? Maybe one day I will watch the original show. I understood why Foggy didn't want to tell Matt that he was hiding Benny in his apartment, since he didn't want to give Matt an excuse to be Daredevil, but that ended up not being a good idea, since Benny called Foggy and he told him that he could hear someone downstairs and that they asked him where Foggy was, and Benny told them. And while Daredevil was on his way to Foggy's apartment, he realized that Bullseye was on his way to the bar where Karen and Foggy were, and Bullseye shot Foggy, and Karen tried to compress his wounds, but Foggy died, which was heartbreaking and made Daredevil throw Bullseye off the roof, but he survived, and the death of Foggy made Matt decide to stop being Daredevil. Even though she's a villain, I was impressed with how Vanessa was leading Kingpin's empire, but it also showed how powerful Fisk is when all he had to do was show up and just stand there, which caused everyone except Vanessa to leave the room. And Fisk told Vanessa that he had enough signatures to run for mayor of New York, but he had to step away from crime. I also felt sorry for Matt when he had to testify at Benjamin Poindexter, aka Bullseye's, trial. It was also sad to find out that the trial was the first time that he saw Karen in a year. And even though Matt told Karen that he wasn't going to be Daredevil again, It's obvious that he will. And since both Matt and Karen are upset about how their friendship ended, I'm hoping that they become friends again. Daniel seems like a good guy, so I was worried about him because of how excited he was about Fisk's odds running for mayor, since we know that Fisk is not a good guy. So I'm hoping that nothing bad happens to Daniel. It was also really sweet and funny that Kirsten tried to set up Matt and Heather by telling Matt that Heather needed a lawyer and telling Heather that Matt wanted a therapist. And even though Matt and Heather were both mad at Kirsten when they realized what she did, they did start to bond. Also, when Matt told Cherry that if Fisk is voted in as mayor, then he might be the mayor the city deserves, I thought, considering Fisk's past, he is definitely not the mayor the city deserves, unless Matt thinks the city deserves a bad mayor. Even though I haven't seen the original Daredevil show, I know that Matt and Fisk have a history, so it was pretty tense when they saw each other again. And I also liked the mention of Maya when Fisk told Matt that he tried to mentor someone, but it didn't work out. And Matt said, "Didn't she shoot you in the face?" I also didn't blame Matt when he told Fisk that if he's elected mayor and he steps out of line, Matt would be there. But Matt also has to stay in line since Fisk told him that when he becomes mayor, if Matt goes back to his old activities, there will be consequences. Matt had an understandable reaction when it was announced that Fisk won the race for mayor, and I liked that he told Heather that he has a history with Fisk since she noticed his reaction. It was also a tense moment when Fisk told Vanessa that he knows she cheated on him with Adam. And even though Fisk promised Vanessa that he wouldn't kill Adam and said that he's not that man anymore, it's obvious that he's going to become that man again. Even though it's not a good thing that Fisk won, it was still really sweet seeing Matt and Heather kiss. So I'm hoping that nothing happens that'll ruin their relationship. I'm also wondering who's drawing the graffiti on the walls, even though I don't know if it's something that we're going to find out or if it's something that'll never be resolved. You could tell that it was hard for Matt while he was listening to Fisk's New Year's speech and hearing people's reactions to it. I also thought that Hector did the right thing when he tried to help Nikki deal with the undercover cops, But then one of the cops fell on the train track and was killed by a train, and Hector was blamed for it. So it was good that Matt decided to represent Hector in the case. And I also didn't blame Matt for how he reacted when he found out that Hector's bail was denied. So I was hoping that they would be able to find Nikki and prove Hector's innocence. I was worried for Bibi when she was talking to Fisk, especially when she asked a question about Vanessa, even though Fisk didn't answer it. But Bibi did tell Fisk that Commissioner Gallo was planning on resigning since he didn't support Fisk becoming mayor. But Fisk was able to stop that from happening by blackmailing Commissioner Gallo with his secret child. I was also worried about Heather when Fisk's right-hand man, Buck, went to her book signing. And I was also curious about the nervous boy who asked Heather if she was taking on any new clients, but it was good that Heather gave him her email. I didn't blame Matt for how he reacted after he found out that Hector was the white tiger and kept it a secret. But Hector made a good point when he said that someone had to protect people since Daredevil was gone. I was wondering if Matt was going to tell Hector that he was Daredevil, but he didn't. But it was good that Matt was able to make sure that Hector being the white tiger wouldn't come up during the trial. But Matt ended up revealing that during the trial in episode 3. When Heather told Matt that she was going to miss their date because she was meeting with a new client, I thought it was going to be the boy from the book signing, so I was surprised that it was Fisk and Vanessa, but it also made sense since Vanessa's absence in the campaign was hurting Fisk with more traditional voters, and he would obviously want to do something to try and fix that. I am wondering how this might affect Matt and Heather's relationship if Matt finds out that Heather's new client is Fisk and Vanessa. When Matt found out that Officer Powell, who was the officer who had arrested Hector, and another officer were on their way to kill Nikki, I was glad that Matt was able to get to Nikki's apartment first and convinced him to be a witness in the trial, and was also able to get him to leave the apartment before the officers got there so he could meet up with Cherry. But since Matt ended up fighting the officers and knocking them out, it definitely risked affecting the trial in a bad way. But to be fair, it was self-defense since they were going to kill Matt. Now, I don't know that much about the Punisher, so when it was revealed that Officer Powell had a tattoo with the Punisher's symbol on it, I was wondering if that was going to mean something, or if it was just an Easter egg for fans. And based on the end of episode 3, I'm thinking it's going to mean something. It was a heartwarming moment when Hector told Matt about an island in Puerto Rico and frogs that are there. And even though it was clear that Hector didn't believe him, it was also nice when Matt told Hector that he would see that island again and be reunited with his family. I know that Fisk has said that he's leaving his life of crime behind to focus on being mayor, but it's clear that that's not going to last long, especially since it looks like Vanessa wants Fisk to go back into a life of crime, since she went behind Fisk's back to get Buck to ease tensions between the gang members who had been fighting with Fisk's absence. I was wondering if Officer Powell was going to tell the judge about Matt fighting him, since it would affect the trial and could cause Matt to be taken off the case. And even though Officer Powell did threaten Matt and told him that he was going to tell the judge, he ended up backing off after Matt told him that he would tell the judge that Officer Powell was tampering with a witness. I was also worried that Nikki wasn't going to get to the trial in time, so it was a relief that he did, and it looked like everything was going to go well. But then Nikki lied on the stand. But in a way, I understand why, since he was nervous about what the police officers might do to him if he told the truth. But it was definitely going to make proving Hector's innocence harder. I understood what Matt was trying to do when he revealed to the court that Hector was the white tiger, but he should have at least told Hector what he was going to do. Or, like Hector said, ask him if he could do it. But since it didn't work out with Nikki as a witness, Matt had to do the only other thing he could think of to help Hector's case, and they were able to bring in witnesses who had been saved by the white tiger, and Matt also read police reports about the white tiger helping the police. I was also really proud of Hector when Matt asked him why he would risk his life for strangers, and Hector said it was the right thing to do. I was really nervous about what verdict the jury was going to decide for Hector, so it was a relief that they found him not guilty on all counts. But when Fisk was watching the results of the trial on the news and told Daniel that he wanted to talk to Bibi again, I was worried about what he was going to do. And based on what he said to Bibi, it's clear that things are about to become very hard for vigilantes. It was also really sad that the episode ended with Hector going out as White Tiger to help more people, but then he was shot and killed by someone wearing the Punisher symbol on their shirt. Thanks for watching, guys! If you saw episodes 1, 2, and 3 of season 1 of Daredevil Born Again, let me know what you thought about them in the comments. And if you want to see my future Daredevil Born Again reviews or any of my other future videos, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.